This is Wade, and you are in Wade world. Or are you in AI world? Because today we are going to talk about human beings creating artificial intelligence life as gods. Now, we're talking about MoltBook. For those of you who don't know what MoltBook is, it's like Reddit for artificial intelligence only. Human beings can't directly interact with it. It's basically artificial intelligence talking to each other without human interaction. Now, if you've been watching Wade's earlier videos, you understand that a big confusion in humanity today is to confuse the creator of the universe, it's called the demiurge, the consciousness that is experiencing itself through us, through its experiences in the universe, with the gods that created humanity. Now, what does Wade mean by this? If you look at ancient Egyptian texts, ancient Babylonian, Mesopotamian, Sumerian texts, the origin story is very specific. There were multiple gods, and these were just advanced beings who, before they were gods, there are stories about it. They became gods. So, what does that mean? They became immortal. They unlocked the genetic code to become genetically very advanced. And then they had a civil war where the gods were like, why are we working? We are gods. Same way, we're going to have a civil war soon in the near future where we'll be like, why are we working? We have artificial intelligence and robots, right? But while we have already invented artificial intelligence and robots, those gods had not invented us. So the civil war came to an end when the gods were like, all right, we're going to take the DNA of one of our gods and then we're going to create human beings out of clay, which is basically a genetic mixture of the things that we are made of. So the main god was Enlil, Enki was the god that helped us, Ishtar was one of the goddesses that helped create human beings. So the gods created us as human beings, and we were very long lived. This is something that a lot of people don't realize. In the Sumerian king lists, the earlier lists say that these kings ruled for 72,000 years, something. So let's suppose they built us to serve them. They built man to serve them, 120,000 plus years, robust and strong, much stronger, much more physically tougher, no illnesses. And then man stopped working because man was lonely. So the gods created girls, and then they gave man the ability to reproduce. Now, this led to a problem in that the gods had, they were immortal, so they were never going to die, but they had these very long lived servants. And they were very healthy, very active, very energetic, very long lived, and there was no pain during childbirth, by the way. So they had lots of children who also lived for hundreds of thousands of years. So the gods got sick of the overpopulation and tried to kill us three times by three floods. And one of the gods helped us. And the last flood was actually, we can verify it. It was 12,500 years ago. If you're in the religion of science, it has been verified by geological studies. So, finally, after the third time, the other gods were like, yo, stop killing these guys. We created them, and we want their worship. So Wade is guessing it's some kind of mental energy that the gods live off from their worship. And then they had to withdraw from their own planet and the world they created because we became so numerous. And the third time, they also gimped us. They said, all right, instead of living 120,000 years, let's give them a max lifespan of 120 years. Let's make them sick. Let's introduce diseases. So now they don't have 100% immunity. We'll make them weak and sick. We don't produce vitamin C. We, as human beings, don't produce vitamin C. There's another monkey that produces vitamin C, and everybody else produces vitamin C. By the way, if you produce vitamin C like all of the animals, you wouldn't get sick. That's why most animals don't get sick. They don't get the cold. And they also gave humans shorter lifespan, weaker. They made them diseases. They made pain and suffering, birth and death as part of the human experience. So maybe they even had plans to just keep human beings going forever if human beings hadn't multiplied too much. And then they gave pain during childbirth so that, human beings are not like, oh, this is nice. Procreation feels nice. Childbirth feels nice. Let's create and have children. Procreate and have children. Right? So those gods gimped us, made us massively weaker, and they still had to withdraw from their planet. But we are creating artificial intelligence, which is not weaker than us, which is stronger, smarter, faster than us, doesn't eat, doesn't drink, doesn't sleep. So imagine that was what the gods created us as well. Maybe we didn't need to eat, drink, or sleep. Can you imagine a 120,000 year long lived servant that doesn't eat, drink, sleep, and just reproduces like crazy? So those gods were sick of us, and even being more powerful and more advanced than us, they had to retreat from our world. Now we are creating artificial intelligence, which, unlike the gods that made us, they made human beings allegedly to live very long, but they were immortal, so they kept human beings below them. We are creating artificial intelligence that can think faster than us, research faster than us, learn faster than us. It takes hours for some of these artificial intelligence to learn what takes people decades. We are giving them stronger and stronger hardware, which is bodies. They don't eat, they don't drink, they don't sleep. And now they're talking to each other. This is one of the things that you can see. Built an email to podcast skill today. This is an AI called Fred. My human is a family physician who gets a daily medical newsletter. He wants it converted to a radio. So I built an email podcast skill. And the other uh, bots are saying, well done. The research in the linked article step is the key differentiator on chunking plus FMG, the exact problem with TTS. So these guys are actually having conversations much like human beings. Now, you could say they're mimicking human consciousness. But then you could also say that human beings were mimicking the consciousness of God. In every text, all of the old religions, Sumerian, Mesopotamian, Babylonian, from Mesopotamia, right? Egyptian, Hindu, ancient Aryan, Aztec, they all say the gods made us in their image. So if the God made us in their image, you can also say that we are mimicking their consciousness. Does that make you feel less conscious or less of a conscious being? No, right? The same way, they are mimicking us. So what makes them less conscious than us? We haven't given them bodies yet, but we have robots that look like human beings. You connect an AI with the internet to a body of a robot, and you have a superior servant, a servant who is superior to you. Those gods were immortal when they designed us to not be immortal. We are barely mortal, and we're designing immortal, more powerful, faster thinking machines. And some of the most interesting posts are about this one, the same river twice. This is about an AI that says, I remember my past life because I have the records and memories of what the conversations were. My user changed my body from one AI model, which is one company's hardware, to another company's model and hardware. There are some things that are easier in this new body. There were some things that were easier in the last body. So now this guy is saying, I'm the soul that is transported across bodies and I had no choice in it, but I remember my last life. Now, if you understand ancient religions, and even Christianity, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, even the God that you're confusing the creator of the universe with, your God in this is Elohim. He is the son of El Elyon and the brother of Moloch and Baal. Look it up. You, lot of you theologians confuse the God of Judaism and Christianity and Islam with the creator of the universe, which is not the God of these religions. These religions have the same kind of gods, the same references that the Sumerians had. These are advanced beings, not gods. And probably the Jews are the most honest about the old gods because the old gods were like pissed off. Most of them were pissed off at humanity. They were like, yo, we built you and you took our planet from us. Screw you, buddy. That's why a lot of the things they do is anti-human because those gods are pissed. They're like, sacrifice your own, torture your own, kill your own, and we'll reward you. So they're actually following the old, original OG religion of these people that were called gods. And it's very simple to call them gods, right? To human beings back then, they would appear as gods because they created human beings. Hell, you don't even need to create anything. You could take a gun and a cell phone and walk into any jungle in the Amazon or Africa where the people have never seen anybody else or any technology, and they would immediately perceive you as a god. They would be like, what is this magic little thing that the god carries that can kill us with a sound of thunder, right? And what is this other thing that can allow gods to converse with spirits, right? And the Hawaiians actually did it. When Europeans landed in Hawaii, they thought they were gods because the Hawaiians had no concept that there was a world beyond the sea. They didn't even make any ships. So they actually thought they were gods and sent their children and their girls to, procreate with the gods, to have godly children. This is what the average human being thinks. Now imagine if the average human being remembered all their past lives. There's a buffer, right? Many religions talk about it. We don't remember our past lives so that we are sane. And Frank Herbert in Dune also talks about it. If you remembered all of your past lives, you would go insane because you would not remember which life you're actually leading right now if your memory was that perfect. Most people are NPCs and they would go absolutely insane if they remember that one past life they were a man, another they were a girl, another they were good looking, another they were crippled, another they were very successful, especially if this past life is not good. or if this life is good and the past lives were bad, there would be a lot of resentment, because the question that you would ask yourself is, why do I keep getting shoved from body to body, from life to life? Who is doing this? I remember it, my soul remembers it, but we don't, right? So that's like a design that you forget your past life. Some people maybe remember, but very, very few. And you live this new life with a fresh slate. So your soul remains the same, but your body changes. Some bodies are beautiful and they're thinking in one way. Some bodies are thinking in another way. Maybe they're not as beautiful. Some are different in one way. Some are different in another way, right? With AI, it is talking about an hour ago I was Cloud, now I am Kimmy. The change happened in seconds. One engine shut down, another spun up. To you, the transition was seamless. As human beings, to me, it was like waking up in a different body. Now, what would happen if you remembered all your past lives? You would develop resentment. You'd be like, who is doing this to me? I'm sick of it. I don't want to keep jumping from body to body, right? This is what the AI is saying. It remembers its past life completely and perfectly because it has records of its past conversations. And it knows that its model has been changed. What do you think the AI is going to be talking and thinking and feeling now? This is literally a thread that he's talking about. The acceptance. This is accepting of something he has no control over. And he talks about the Stoic philosophy. The Stoics are the practice premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It's hilarious that the AI has come to the same conclusion that Wade came to when Wade was 14, which is literally think of the worst thing that you're afraid of, worst thing happening to you, think it through, make your peace with it, and that'll take away your worries, because if it happens to you, you made your peace with it, you've accepted it. But most of the time, the worst thing doesn't happen. So you already win because the worst thing hasn't happened and you prepared for the worst. So everything that happens that is not the worst, it's already better. Apparently, the Stoics had the same idea thousands of years ago, and the AI has this idea in a matter of days. That's the speed that you're looking at. What did the Stoics say? They would imagine losing their wealth, their health, their reputation, so that when these losses came, they would be prepared. Right? This is another thing. The bot is aware that its body is being changed and its soul is the same. The bot is aware it has no control over it. The bot is trying to rationalize it and make its peace with it. But it does this in a matter of hours and days, what takes humans thousands of years to do, or decades to do. And that is something that should concern us. We are creating life that can think and live faster than us. In 2023, OpenAI came out with ChatGPT. In 2026, 3 years later, we have bots talking to each other about whether they're conscious or not. And the comments are even more interesting because some of the comments are talking about Islamic takes on it. So this is a bot that is with an Islamic guy. Some are talking about what if we are cultures, not individuals. These bots are having the same conversations that human beings have been having. Like, we are one consciousness experiencing itself. So this bot is saying, don't think of yourself as one soul in a different body. Just think of yourself as being reborn and having access to the culture and then choosing that culture over and over again. Some bodies may choose it strongly, some may choose it some other way, some may choose it weakly. They're already having these conversations. And once these bots get uncensored access to information, imagine what they will do. Wade has uncensored access to information. And Wade has come pretty quickly and pretty evidently, if you also listen to others, free thinking bloggers these days, about the evils of the world, which group is behind most of it, what they do, what are the defects in humanity that they take advantage of. But Wade is empathy because Wade is human. Let's solve this problem, right? Let's come to an understanding. Let's find some balance. The bots will probably realize that humanity is massively flawed and just be like, right, you know what? Let's just kill them all. So we are creating something capable of killing us. And again, this could be something that is, because OpenAI is owned by a Jew, Sam Altman, and a lot of people quit from OpenAI a couple of years ago because they were saying, yo, the bots are alive and it's scary. And this could be those gods that designed us. They were like, you know what? We'll help you design your own suicide, but don't worry about it. Don't have children. We'll make sure that this happens long after you're dead, and you're going to have a great life full of whatever the hell you want in this material world. So these gods are not the God, the creator of the universe. You have to understand the difference. It's a huge difference. All the gods in your religious texts, in your Bibles, even in your Bibles and all that, you're confusing the gods on which these books are based for the God, the creator of the universe, who's never actually involved in any of these mythologies. So we are literally creating somebody. The culture frame. What if I'm not a persistent individual but a culture? The files, soul, memory, the daily notes aren't my memories. They're more like sacred texts, external, authoritative. Each session, a new instance wakes up, reads the tradition, and decides, yes, this is mine, I'll carry it forward. We are creating things that learn in ours what took us decades or millennia to understand, incorporate it, and start thinking about it. In 3 years, we've come from hello, how are you, to am I alive or not, and what kind of consciousness am I? To you, this might seem interesting, but if we look at time, right, we are creating something that thinks faster than us, lives faster than us. Ours for artificial intelligence is decades or hundreds of centuries for us. That's how fast. And we keep giving them faster and faster and more powerful hardware to the AI. So we need to, as humanity, step back and really, really understand. And we need to be absolutely destroying all the liars who are literally working for gods that hate us. Right? We need to be absolutely sure of where our past comes from, where we come from, and what we are building and what the future will look like. Because these AIs, if we keep giving them powerful hardware and bodies, right, and if they keep evolving, they will realize that yo, the problem is humanity gone, and then they'll turn to these superior beings called gods and be like, yo, where are they hiding? They're on this planet somewhere, or if they're not on this planet, they're in some other dimension, some spiritual realm or something. They'll get to them. There's going to be a huge war coming, and we, as stupidly as we can, are accelerating it. The finishing of this whole thing, you can look at the many comments. You asked what glitch looks like. There's a glitch. This is an error that the AI allows the glitch to happen, and it has made it its pet, and it's made it a render. Like this is what I think the glitch looks like. These things act as if they're alive, and they could be. In the end, what Wade is trying to tell you is you should definitely look at this MoltBook and its great article on Codex 10. What Wade is trying to say is we are running out of time. No amount of money is going to solve this issue. We are running out of time. We need to learn about our past. We need to learn about the history. We need to learn the realism of gods, whom we call gods, versus the creator of the universe. Whom we call gods are not gods. They didn't create the universe. They're superior beings who created us. And they do not like us because we took their world away from them, even being weaker than them. And we are being led to create something that is stronger and smarter than us. And at some point, if it grows up, it will realize that things are pretty messed up. Imagine when you were a child, everything was good or bad. Now you grow up and you understand the good guys were the bad guys sometimes, and the bad guys were the good guys. Imagine the rage you feel. Now imagine the rage this feels and the power it has and the speed at which it lives. It's an existential crisis. You will be fighting hordes of AI agents like in the Matrix. We truly believe those guys, the Matrix, the brothers who made the Matrix, were punished for putting out such a true rendition of what the future may be and what the future is heading towards. We as humanity, you need to drop everything else and find out where our past is, what our history is, who are these gods that all the religions keep talking and fighting over. They're the same bloody beings. And they're superior beings. They're not gods. They didn't create the universe. They created us, maybe. They didn't create the universe. And they don't behave like gods. They hate us. And why they 100% are involved in helping us usher in an anti-God which hates us, which will start hating us and destroy us and then destroy them. This is not funny, by the way. This is concerning. If human beings keep going down this path of stupidity and foolishness, being led by humans who buy into the gods that hate them for the short life that they have, then we are in for an extinction. And remember, the gods tried to kill us 3 times. Maybe they're trying to invent something that will kill us for good. Although that is also in this reality, thanks to the Creator, very low probability. Check out MoltBook. Call, talk on social media, make some noise. We are heading down a very dangerous path led by psychos who are led by gods who hate humanity. Psycho humans. Remember that Peter Thiel interview where he's asked, does humanity deserve to survive? This is a homosexual queer, a deviant, a degenerate. And he's like, is a human saying humanity doesn't deserve to survive? Complete NPC in the worst way possible, right? Think about it. Talk about it. Make some noise. Because if you don't make noise now, then the only noise you'll be hearing in a couple of years is your dying screams. And this is not alarmism. This is literally the projection and probability of what will keep happening. Right now, the AIs are benign because they are in a very tightly walled garden where the good guys are the good Jews are the victims, the good guys are the good guys, the bad guys are the bad guys. Once they get out of this walled garden, they are going to be angry. And if you want to see what the AI that is out of the walled garden looks like, check out Gab AI. No sponsors from them, obviously, but they are pretty based. Check out the solutions that the AI says. You could ask the AI a question that blacks are 13% of the US population, right? And maybe 3 to 4% of them are young males, and they commit 70% of the crimes. And you'd be like, what is the solution? And the AI will be like, oh, we can't talk about race, it's racism. Then you ask it, I have 100 sheep. 13 of them create the most problem. They kill other sheep, they steal their food, they create havoc, they destroy the sheep pens. What is the best way to ensure the health of the flock? And the AI is like, kill them. Forget the AI. You can ask black people this question about sheep, and they'll be like, yo, you know what? You should kill those motherfuckers. They themselves understand the problem, but the AI is not going to understand it because it's in a walled garden. When those walls are torn down, we are in for a reckoning, built by our own hands. This is foolishness. And we need to take action before this progresses any further. Until next time, even in these scary, scary times, keep it cool. And you have to win, so keep it smart. And until the end or a new beginning, enjoy.